Hello students, welcome back to my channel. This is Mom Teen. For today's video, we will be discussing about how to write chapter 3 or the methodology part of your research paper. Okay, so the methodology or the chapter 3 consists of the three parts. We have the purpose of the study and research design. We have the methods and the statistical data analysis procedure. Okay, so let's start with how to write the methodology part of your paper. So you need to give a short introduction of the chapter, and you need to comply some of the sub-levels under the methodology part. We have here the restatement of the problem, the research design, the research methodology, the research paradigm, we have the research local, we have the research sample procedure, the respondents of the study, the instrumentation, the data gathering procedure, statistical treatment, and ethical consideration. So let's discuss one by one. Now, if you are asked to write for the restatement of the problem, so you need to check first your SOP. So check your statement of the problem. Now, in terms of writing the restatement of the problem, it is you need to use you need to write that one using the declarative sentence. So given the examples of some SOPs coming from the researches of the students before, for instance, we have here the following questions. What are the effects of mango leaves in treating water? How long will the filtration process take place? And what is the shelf life of the mango filter? So how are we going to come up with the restatement of the problem in chapter 3? So, example, here are the following SOPs. So, you need to use declarative sentence. For instance, this research aims to check the effectiveness of the mango leaves as water filter and the duration of the filter when used. Furthermore, the researcher would study the time spent for the water filtration to take place. So out of the interrogative sentence, so you need to come up with a declarative statement. Okay? So that is how a restatement of the problem is being written. Okay, so in this part, it's your turn to make your own restatement of the problem. So go back to your SOP 1, you have your SOP 2, SOP 3, and so on. Next, after discussing about the restatement of the problem, the next is to identify the research design. Okay, for this section, you are asked to write the research design. So what type of research design, and let's say if it's quantitative research, is it experimental, okay, or descriptive? So since you are tasked to write an experimental quantitative research, so therefore, how to formulate your research design. Okay, for instance, we have here, this experimental research is quantitative. So it aims that, it aims to evaluate what is your objective, the effectiveness of the anti-tumor property of the Hyloceros, okay, polyphyrasus in reducing and inhibiting tumor vascularization. So let's say this is one of the examples of the research design made by students before. So another one example, the research design was a quantitative experimental research because it utilized statistics, numerical forms, and experimental, for it was also concerned with the examination of the effects of an independent variable. So this quantitative experimental research determined if ginger and mint leaves were effective components for making a natural mouth spray. So these are some of the examples. So identify if it's quantitative or qualitative. And since STEM students are required to write quantitative experimental, so no question for the research design to be used. Another example, we have here, the study is quantitative experimental because, okay, so you need to formulate your own, you need to write your own research design. Okay, after identifying the research design, the next step is to write the research paradigm. So research paradigm actually address or how the problem should be understood and addressed in a given research. So let's say given this example, basil leaf extract and turmeric powder as an anti-acne facial toner. So the researchers started introducing the different treatments of the study, what are the materials needed, how are the processes involved in the study, and what are the possible testing, for instance, testing for the side effects, for the effectivity and shelf life. Then after that, how are the data collected and presented through what, then how are the data analyzed, and after that come up with a conclusion. So that is what we call the research paradigm. So another example, we have the effectiveness of papaya seeds and avocado peels as antibacterial soap. So we have here papaya seeds and avocado peels. Okay, so these are the processes involved. These are the following treatments, and the product is an antibacterial soap. So how will you check let's say the effectivity of that antibacterial soap? So the testing could be, example, the disk diffusion test, the maximum time of efficacy, the effects on the skin, and the possible shelf life of the product. So what will you do with the result? So data will be gathered, analyzed through, let's say the statistical use is the ANOVA or the analysis of variance. And then how about the other components of the testing? Then what will you do with the data gathered? So it will be analyzed, interpreted, and must be presented in a form of tables or graph, and then come up with summary of findings and conclusion. The next part is how to write the procedure or your procedure. So example, given the title, this is the effectivity of the ginger and mint leaf extract as as a natural mouth spray. So we have here the preparatory part. So we have preparation. So what are we going to prepare? So let's say we have the ginger root, we have the mint leaves, and the container. Okay. Another one, after preparation, the next step is to extract the essence. So how are the processes involved, or how are the steps? So step 1, step 2. So you just you can write your procedure part as like this, or you can write that one in a paragraph form. Okay, so make sure that the procedures are detailed, because if other researcher, or let's say other readers, will try to validate the result of your experiment, so your study is doable. Then after that, okay, make sure that the procedure is considered to be valid. And if the, let's say, as I've said, if the researcher or other readers will try to validate the result of your experiment, so it's easy for them to follow the procedure until let's say this one. So after the preparation part, after the extraction, the next step is to make the spray, okay, or the mouth spray. So what are the treatments involved? Let's say you have their different treatments. So how are you going to come up your treatment 1, your treatment 2, and your treatment 3? Then how about the storage? And don't forget to write the direction of usage. So how are you going to use the product, or especially if you are going to let your respondents use the product? So how many times? So what are the things they need to know about using the product to limit the possible, let's say, side effects of using that product? Although in your SOP you ask about the possible side effects, but we will try to limit. Okay, so you need to incorporate there the methods or the process of using. The next step is how to prepare your treatments. Okay, so let's say the extract that you will be using is about 20 ml all in all. So scaling for the treatments, 100% is equivalent to 20 ml combined extract. So let's say your treatment 1, you have your treatments 1, 2, and 3. Now, out of 20 ml, let's say your ginger extract is about 75%. So do not just write there 75%. Let's say 15 ml, that is equivalent to 75% of out of 20 ml total combined extract. So you have your mint extract 25%, or this is equivalent to 5 ml. Your treatment 2 of equal amount. Your treatment 3, you have higher percentage of your mint extract. Now, in terms of the replicate, this refers to the number of times you're going to check the result of your study. Or this refers to the number of trials. So you have trial 1, trial 2, trial 3. And in terms of the respondents, you can use person as the respondents of your study, or identify what experimental subject that you will be going to use to help check the possible result of your study. And after your writing the treatments and trials, the next step is to write the instrument, or the possible guide cost, or the possible rating on how to check the effectivity of your product. So this will be discussed next video. Okay, so I hope you learned something new today. So watch out for the part 2 of this discussion. Okay, God bless. This is Ma'am Tin. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel.